I just got back from the central London. I was meeting with my internet friend. I met her for the first time live, like face to face. It was very nice, I really liked her. It was very bizarre to meet her here in London because she's actually from Sweden. Yeah, I kept it to English because my Swedish is very crap. I met with her and we had a lovely time, had a cup of coffee at the cafeteria and I think we spoke to like 2 hours or something, almost 3 hours, and time just flew by, at least for me. I really liked it. She said something that really made me realize something about myself living in London. I don't know if she has actually visited London before. She was saying like how crappy everything is, like how crappy the architecture is. She was really feeling sort of anxious or sort of uncomfortable all the time because walls are cracking around here and all the pavement is always cracking, and it's just like it's not actually the standard of living here as it is in the northern Europe. I suppose in Sweden or in Stockholm it must be the same like in Helsinki and in Finland. Maybe it's because of the cold winter and because of the fact that there is snow half of the year and we have to protect our houses. We have double glazing and we have isolated and heated the rooms very well. If there are any cracks in the walls or in the pavement, they're always repaired very quickly because otherwise they are going to just fall apart because of the ice. And yeah, anyway. Because I have been living here for 7 months now, I had sort of gotten used to the British way. It was very funny to see that she had the same kind of first reaction to the, sorry about this, but sort of crappiness of the architecture here, because I had the same feeling and the same, I don't know if you can call it culture shock. But anyway, I had that as well, but now I'm over it. I sort of take it as a joke right now, just with a humor. Like, okay, that's just the way they do things here. Like, for example, the underground, you know, the famous thing they have in the underground, the "Please mind the gap" that they always play in the overhead speakers or whatever. They have recorded that, "Please mind the gap," because there is a gap between the train and the platform. And if this was in Finland or I suppose in Sweden or anywhere in North, they wouldn't like just brush it off like, okay, there's a gap, let's just record this recording and always remind people to step over the gap. That wouldn't be like, I don't know about other countries, but at least in Finland it would be like, okay, we have to do something about it because people are falling in the gap. We wouldn't just brush it off and record this thing. I don't know, I think people would just demand to have it fixed and not have the gap there, you know. I think this kind of thing, maybe it's very Nordic, maybe it's just in the northern countries that people are saying like, okay, this is dangerous and can you please fix it? And then in the southern Europe and in the UK, it just seems to be like, okay, well, then people can just hop over the gap. Yeah, it's not our problem and we are not going to waste money on this. First it was very annoying for me, but now I'm sort of taking it as part of the experience of living here. There's something kind of punk rock thing about the crappiness in here. Sorry again saying it's crappy here, but it's just, it's such a first world problem. Like, oh no, it's the walls are, there's mold in the walls. Like, I guess things could be much worse. Yeah, it was just interesting to see that people from my culture or from the north, they are experiencing the same things as I was. So it feels like at least I'm getting new experiences that people cannot have in the north. It was just an interesting reminder that some things I took granted at home in Finland, I can now appreciate the good architecture in North when I go back. It wasn't something I paid attention when I lived there. It makes me appreciate it more, I suppose. Yeah, if you're a Nordic person who lives in London, have you had the same thing? Or do you know what I'm talking about? Leave a comment if you want. Tell me about your culture shock. Like, what were your biggest culture shocks when you moved to London? Oh, and in another news, I got a new job again. This is my 4th job in the 7 months I've been here. So let's see how that goes. The phone interviewing is not going very well. Apparently they are not needing any Finnish speaking people after next Monday. I would have liked to actually know that beforehand, but luckily I had applied to this other job anyway and I got it. So yeah, I will be making falafel wraps, like kitchen work. I have no experience of kitchen work, like previous experience. That doesn't seem to be a problem here, which I think also it's very, very different to Finland, because in Finland it's always like, do you have any experience on this field? No, you don't. Okay, do you have any like education about this? You don't. Then of course we are not going to hire you. But then in London it's just like, yeah, whatever, yeah, if you're a cool guy. I mean, in here you seem to get the job more often than not if you are like outgoing or friendly, or it's more about your personality here than it is about your skills. Whereas in Finland it's more about your skills than your personality. So